just entered the bear crawling nation on the No Agenda stream.
This is R. Mordant, and welcome to the other side of live. Welcome everyone to the #1 late night podcast awards nominated Success Freaky Motivational Show, otherwise known as The Other Side of Live. Tonight's working title is Ending at Your New Beginning, Success Freaks number 11, November. Tonight we are both alive and kicking it from Gastonia, North Carolina, and the Bears Den in Monticello, Georgia. With me tonight in spirit, over the ether, over the internet, way over there in Georgia, is the dark side of positive, Charles McFall. Say hello, Charles.
So I need to step back a second. Where are you broadcasting from?
North Carolina. You couldn't really hear it because Hurricane Sandy has just ripped the winds out of my mouth.
I want to hear you say that 3 times in a row. Yeah. Yes, I am here. And unlike some other people in the room, I have a perfect attendance record this year.
Oh, yes, indeed. You took me a second to go, what? Oh, yeah, well, we will get into that post-haste. But first, I want to throw out there, because we don't, been a couple of times since we haven't thrown out the number. I want to make sure if you ever want to call in tonight, the number is 218-632-1724. We are a live show. You may call in. You may speak to us during the live show. But the first thing that we're going to talk about is something that happened just the other night. That's right, for the second straight year in a row.
Was that at a hometown football game?
What?
Okay, Garth Brooks, people, you understand what I'm saying.
I do like Garth Brooks, my bad. We were nominated in the general category for the podcast awards. And that's right, the little podcast that could has somehow wound our way back in there. And I'm still not sure how this happens, but I'm ecstatic about it. How about you?
I'm a little disappointed in you, sir. As much as we talk about success freaks and going out and getting your own and putting it to the universe and what you like to say, fake it till you make it, you come back with, I don't know how we did it. Really, we did it because we're bad. That's how we did it. There's another part to that word.
I'm faking humility, my friend.
I'm not saying we're the best in the world. We have the greatest fans. We have people we can rely on who will step up and help out. And I think we put out a great show, and I think we've got some stiff competition. Our good friends at Secretly Timid are also nominated in the general category. And I honestly don't like going up against them because they're a great show. I wish we had our own category all to ourselves with everybody who sounded like crap except us, you know.
We're going to get them on our show. And if we cannot seem to get our guest for next week, and in case you are listening, Doug Grady, you're supposed to be our guest next week in studio, so call us or get in touch with us. But if we can't get Doug Grady, maybe we'll do a guesting with them.
That would be cool. You know, I believe the Paul in the chat room tonight is Paul Tran, formerly of Secretly Timid, that he might can call in and represent. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be nice. I think it'd be, even though we're all against each other in the general category. It's them. And who else was in there?
Greetings from Nowhere, who is the returning winner from last year. Dvorak and Horowitz Unplugged. That's a finance. I can't help it. That's a finance show. And Dvorak, honestly, John C. Dvorak, great a man as he is the better half. Well, I wouldn't say better half, but he's the other half of the No Agenda show. Okay, he's a great guy. He doesn't care.
How do you know? Has he called you and told you this? You know, Charles, I really don't care.
Dude, we brunch on Sundays, and he was telling me over his pinky finger, I don't care. Charles, go forth and get the award. I don't want it. That's what he was telling me.
That's real humility, and just because of that, they'll probably win.
There were a couple of Hunger Games podcasts, which I didn't understand why they're there. And then there's a number of shows. I don't remember the titles off the top of my head, but there are definitely a number of shows who are really good. Honestly, it's a much better crowd of nominations this year than it was last year, which means that we've got more work cut out for us.
Yeah, did our girls from the women from Stuff You Missed in History, did they get renominated?
I would have to check. I think so. That was not in our category. I only remember mostly our category. No Agenda did pick up the news nod. My friend Dan Carlin at Hardcore History picked up education nod, and our friend Alex of 7th Floor Center picked up the movie nod. So
Whoop, whoop. That's right.
Rock Girl, we don't care. She's punching them all in the chair. I'm gonna boot her. I could have looked it up if I really cared. I don't really care. But we are in agreement. It's either us or Secretly Timid. Anybody else wins, we're gonna watch the world burn. I'm just saying.
Okay, if you say so. More like a marshmallow on a stick, but we'll draw a little, continents on it and things like that. So tonight is a Success Freaks evening, but we are going to be also talking about the podcast awards because we're very, very excited about that. The voting actually starts November 1st and runs for how many days?
15 days.
15 days out there, and you get to vote once every day in each category. So vote daily, vote often, vote us.
Get your friends to do it. Yeah. No, it is. It is by what's called an IP address. So it's not like you can vote and then you can get your wife to vote in the same house and then you get your daughter to vote. It won't work that way. You have to do it from different locations. Yeah, basically one per household, or you can use your phone to vote on, as long as it's not on your network at home, because basically it just has to have a different address. So it's not like somebody's going in and loading up. What I did before was I had my wife vote from the house, and I'd vote from my office.
There you go.
So those kind of things. So
that is awesome.
And I want to say some friends of ours that are helping us out with different things behind the scenes have launched a new show here on the stream on Sunday afternoons at 4:30 p.m. It's live. It's hilarious. It's called the Marcaccio Brothers. And it's Nikki and Stevie and Baby E. I can't remember his name. And Nah. It's 3 Italian brothers who are actually 3 Italian brothers and an Asian chick. So if that is not a recipe for comedy, I don't know what is. But it's very funny, and you should check it out. And they're hooking us up with some artwork and different things. They're working behind the scenes, and everybody should give them a
They're
listen.
recording for podcast, right?
What's that? Who?
It's live, but they're recording for podcast, right? We can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. This is their website. That's all I'm going to tell you. They picked it. It's 3wops.com. 3, the number 3, WOPS.com.
Now we know how to spell that.
Yeah.
I've always wondered how to spell the number 3.
Yay.
So last week, TOSOL number 66, greater self-worth. Sans Mordant. No Mordant, nowhere to be found, except in your remembrances. It was you and Lala Siegfried. Lala, who is actually in the chat room. Lala, I think you should call in right now, and we could talk about how your show went. 218-632-1724, if you dare.
I totally forgot to cut her boom baby and put it on a button.
We'll have to use it later. But how was the show? I listened to it. I got to tell you, I listened to most of it, about 3/4 of it, via TuneIn. And I've never used TuneIn. I had to figure out how it works and everything. But once it sounded great. So the TuneIn app, if you have a cell phone or not a steam-powered phone, but a smartphone, you can use the TuneIn app to listen to a bunch of different radio stations and the other side of live. So I advocate that.
Yeah, it was good. It was a little bit long because we're both storytellers. So it took us longer to get to our points than, say, if you were here. But I thought it was a great fill-in show, and I really enjoyed talking to the Siegfried. And real question is, how did you like it? What did you think of the show?
I liked it. You guys are both very much storytellers, like you said. And just as I was actually had a new Bluetooth earpiece that was able to stream that, so I could listen to it as I'm walking around the house surrounded by people, and they were getting ready. And as we were sitting down to dinner, and I had to turn it off because I couldn't have the voices in my head then, as we were sitting down to dinner, you guys were starting to get into your points, and which is really the juice of what I wanted to hear, the meat of your of having greater self-worth and how to keep that. I believe you were getting into. I would have liked to have heard more of that stuff earlier, but it sounded like a great show. You guys work well together. You bounce off each other very well. I really liked Lala in this venue. I mean, I've heard her other show, but I really like this as well. I mean, she still brings her snark to the table, but there's also a bit of the I don't know, of the other side of live in her.
There is indeed. Now, the real question, here comes the bus. So, get ready to be thrown in front of it.
Yeah, whatever.
Did you go back and finish and get our points?
No, not yet.
You know what? You're killing me, Smalls.
Because I want to hear it on my iPod while I'm driving around, and I was in Louisiana, so I wasn't able to record to download it because you guys, it took you a day or so longer to get all that together. And then by the time I came back, I had everything else going on. And then my girlfriend flew in and, I've been busy. I've been a little busy. So.
I would have done it for you. That's all I'm saying.
No, you wouldn't have, dude. I know you better than that. We are friends nigh unto brothers from other mothers. You would have said you would, but no. You have too much life and too much family to be worried about that. Unless I really said, dude, I really need you to listen to this. And then you would have done it while you were working. So it is, I will listen to it before I listen to this one. How about that?
It's whatever, man. I know I did a great show. I'm cool with it.
So then stop asking. Whatever.
It's all, I told you, the bus, I love driving the bus. That's one of my favorite things.
Bus driver. To the moon, Alice. All right, boys and girls, I have to tell you, it is going to be a weird show tonight. We are at the very end of our Success Freaks with Double Your Income, Doing What You Love by Raymond, Aaron, and never give out the other person's name. Susan Lacher?
I don't know, Lacher.
We should really find out. She's probably the one listening. Raymond Aaron's not listening to us at all. And she's been listening to the podcast going, mention my name. We'll talk if you mention my name. So Susan Lacher, and Susan Lacher, if you are listening to us, we think that your body of work is most excellent. Thank you so much. But we are at the end of it. It's 11 chapters. It's not 12. The last thing is an appendix, and I don't think we're going to go through that.
It's really like 10 and a half chapters.
And no, you know what? I thought so too. I thought this was going to wrap everything up and be an easy peasy thing. But then as I'm reading it, I'm like, there's a lot of meat in this one. I think that next month we're going to do a little bit of something still, getting everybody to kick back into the beginning of their Double Your Income, Doing What You Love, the annual love letters and everything like that, so we don't leave them hanging. And then we'll move on to something else. But go on.
I don't know, I just feel the need to be more
for speed,
solid than that. Yes, I feel the need for speed. Shut it. You're look, taking off, boy.
I am living in the 80s, my friend.
No, we are going to do something. Success Freaks for us has turned into our company. It's something that we're really working hard on behind the scenes. We have other people helping us work on it behind the scenes.
We even have a logo now.
We have a beautiful logo. It's a teaching. We realize this year, and that's something we're going to talk about tonight, but we realize this year that depending on other people's books is not good enough for us. It's a great direction to point us in, and we're always going to reference other people's materials, but no longer are we followers. We're not going to be we're going to study this book next year, and it's got 12 chapters. No, we're going to teach you what we know, what we're learning, what we want to learn. We're going to give you exact steps, and that's going to carry on. We're still going to have Success Freaks.
Drawing some information from other people's books as well.
Yeah. That's what I said. We're still going to be reading, and we're going to be taking it from other people and all that other stuff, but it's not going to be the study like this year was. This year was we'll get in more detail later, but this year was a good training wheels session for us to get ready for what we really want to do, which is write the books and teach the people and that kind of thing. And yes, Mari, we are going to play the song. So when we're ready for it.
I think we're ready for it.
Oh,
hit it!
This is my boomstick!
Was that it? That not the, no?
Close? Hit it!
All right. Here we go.
I am a pretty princess.
Oh, that was just for you. I'm sorry. Here we go.
Thank you.
Success Freaks. Success Success freaks. Success freaks.
That was awesome. So worth the wait. Right now, as we're getting to the Success Freaks section, I'm going to throw it out again. 218-632-1724. Give us a call. Interrupt us. Talk about what we're talking about. Talk about the podcast awards. Talk about what's on your mind.
You know what? This is the night to let us know that you're getting something out of doing the Success Freak segments on the first Tuesday of each month. You just say, yeah, I've learned something this year, and maybe you can share what you've learned with us. What was the number again?
218-632-1724. It is in the chat room. You can see it there. I'm sure somebody's going to pop it up really soon. So
They have, and they will again.
Yep. So you are now, as it says at the beginning of this chapter, you are now at the beginning of your new mentored, strategically organized life. In an unmentored life, you know to great precision all those facts that do not matter. You know exactly when you rise in the morning. You know exactly how long it takes to get to work. You know exactly when your favorite TV show is aired every week. But before, you had not known your most important goals, your life loves, or how to systematically move forward in obtaining a richer, more fulfilling life for yourself, one step at a time. Instead, you let life happen to you. You let success happen to you. You let your wild and hopes and dreams, well, for the most part, they stayed in dreamland. But now you have a roadmap and the ways and means to travel it until you reach your goals and beyond. So before I read this book, before we went through this whole year, I copped an attitude or laxitude of, if it's meant to be, it will come to me. Now I know that, and this is a quote from a fantasy book I read one time, only the bold deserve the fair. So only those who are bold, brave, and yes, sometimes foolish enough to stretch their hand out and try will ever reach beyond the horizon of their own backyard. So a lot of people have that whole destiny thing. Well, if it's meant to be, well, if the universe wants it to happen, or if God wants it to happen, or whatever, I'm gonna live my life and you know, as let the chips fall to where they may. And sometimes luck comes their way, and maybe just enough to keep them on that path. But then it's the people who are like, no, I'm going to do more than this. I'm going to have an active part in my life. I'm going to have an active part in moving forward and becoming something more than I think I can be. I'm going to move beyond my backyard, beyond the horizon. I'm going to have an active part in me becoming a better person than I am, instead of just, you know, living day after day and worrying about, oh, what time do I have to wake up? Oh, what time is dinner? Hey, when do I have to pick up the kids? Hey, when is this, you know, oh, I've got this business thing I got to do. You know, those small little bits of minutia that eat away at the time that could be spent on your greatness, on the work for your greatness as well, because sometimes we're just a little bit afraid of work. My dad used to say, you know, he's not afraid of work. He'll lie down right next to it and go to sleep. Thanks, Dad. So what do you think about all that, my friend?
I think you got a lot more out of this chapter than I did. You know what? This year's been a long year. A long time ago, I had that one day my dreams will come true. You know, one day I will, you know.
Someday my dreams will come true. It is not my goal to have singing lessons, obviously.
But the biggest thing I've learned this year was definitely about goal writing, about being focused, about don't hold back. You know, minimum, target, and outrageous. I love to go for the outrageous. But really, it was literally about goal writing, about putting things down and how to do that appropriately so you can achieve what you want. And it's between that and really, really following your path on reading The Secret and opening up my mind to the possibilities of positive thinking, that kind of thing. Just changing outlooks has changed a lot this year for me. But yeah, you got a lot more out of this last chapter than I did. That was awesome, though. That's a great intro.
I did. I was looking at it. I'm going, oh, this is going to be a rehashing of everything. Now that you've come to the end, don't forget to do this and this and this. But as I'm reading it, and before it even gets into the whole, don't forget to do this and you need to do this. Before that, it had all that other stuff about this is what you're taking away from this. And because I'm so busy with a lot of different things, a lot of things up in the air, I got a lot of balls, that I'm juggling up in the air, a lot of different projects that I'm juggling up in the air. Because of that, I know what it means to be caught up in the minutia of stuff. Little things that I'm like, these are important things and they need to happen. And often I'm the person to do them, but they're kind of keeping me tied down from moving forward with my dream of doing so much more, of becoming a speaker and touching the world. I got to tell you, sometimes I think that, working on this show, is that part of, because I do it every week now, is that part of that minutia? It's like, no, I'm still creating inspirational content. This is still part of that dream, part of moving me forward. So this is, of everything that I'm doing, this is one of the 2 or 3 things that I'm actually working on that are moving me to that next level, helping me level up my life. The Tortuga Twins are working on the Christmas show, and even though it's sucking the life out of me, it certainly is feeding me creatively. We did a shoot today. Our theater shows tend to be multimedia extravaganzas where we're performing on stage, but also we have video stuff that we shoot. So we were at a Goodwill shooting a scene for the Christmas show, and that was creative. That was creative feeding for me. So that was good. So that is also something that is leveling up my life, even though it does appear like work. It comes in the guise of work. It's hidden carefully as work.
Mari in the chat room, live here tonight, Tuesday nights between 9 p.m. and whenever we hit stop. But Mari is here tonight live, and she says, you guys have inspired me to really look at what I want to do with my life and not limit myself by self-doubt. That's what I've gotten from Success Freaks so far.
Very, very nice. I have a quote here from Zig Ziglar that I'm going to throw out because it really speaks to me, and it really says something that I've been trying to put in words for a while, but I haven't been able to. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. It's not just, what are you going to get? What are you going to get at the end of this? Who are you going to become? What kind of person do you have to be the type of person that achieves that kind of goal? Well, through the course of doing these many different things as you're moving forward, baby stepping your way to your dreams, you're going to become that person. It's going to affect you that way, and that's part of this journey. That's part of why we do this. A big part.
I think going through the book step by step, and I'll admit I didn't get to do half the forms, and now you can't get your hands on some of them, but we're going to be working, Mordant and I will still be working with these forms. There's some great forms. There's some great ideas. It's not like we read it and forget it. We're definitely applying what needs to be applied and learning. You might hear quotes from it later on. But I know for me, the biggest thing was to not be afraid of where you're going. And what that meant was, as I started writing things down, writing down goals, being challenged here on the show the first of each month and in our meetings together. I'm challenging you, you're challenging me. We're throwing stuff back and forth. There was a topless pillow fight. That was just weird. I don't know. But things happen.
Thank God got that on video.
Yeah. But I'll be honest, at one point, I was stressed out about the Bear Crawling Nation. And we know this year was a big change for me in that I stopped running that project. I let it disband and everybody, go forth and conquer on their own strengths. And I was afraid to do that for a long time. Just being honest, I was afraid that my success would create other people's failures. And I never wanted to do that. But as we started being challenged by what do you love? What do you really want to do? What are your goals? Write it down. And something that Raymond Aaron said earlier in one of the chapters, I'm talking about like first or second chapter, are you living somebody else's life? If you say that you're a dancer, well, when's the last time you went dancing? Well, it's been 2 years ago. So why are you living somebody else's life? Because you're not a dancer. When I had to answer those questions honestly, because that's the only way I know how, it led to some hard changes that led to the fear of the unknown. And people have succeeded. The road show is still going strong. Those who were going to back out anyway started backing out. Seventh Row Center nailed the nomination for the movie podcast this year.
Whoop, whoop.
You know, so I felt like it was a success all the way around. In that, does that make sense? You know, I was fearing that my success would lead to other people's failures. Does that sound familiar to you? Is that relatable? How'd you deal with it, or is that something new?
Do you mean like because you were succeeding, other people were like, "Oh yeah, that's you," and I can't do that? Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, one of the things when working with you, I was reserved on how much I did with the other side of live. We were definitely not until mid-year where we were even considering trying to speak anywhere, because if I'm going to go speak somewhere, that's taking time away from running the Bear Calling Nation. That's taking time away from investing in all the other shows that I was investing in. That's if I focus on just me and what I want, everybody else is going to fail. Not because they needed me, but that was just a fear.
I think that's and I think it's more of an excuse, but I think it's a subconscious one. I think that you have to level up your life. You have to move forward and trust that someone will step into the gaps. Trust that the universe will bring, will raise someone up or something up, or the need will be fulfilled because it creates a vacuum, and so something will swoop into there. You can't hold yourself back for that. What I've always thought of with the other side of live, with Success Freaks, even with Tortuga Twins, is that if we show people what it looks like to be successful, even with our tripping forward, failing forward, stumbling towards ecstasy, or whatever we're doing, if we show them, oh, this is what it looks like, then you create the possibility. That's why I like the TV show The Biggest Loser so much, because it showed a possibility of how you could affect your life, how you could affect yourself physically and your weight physically, without the use of diet pills and drastic surgery, et cetera. It's more of this is how you do it. This is how you do it naturally. And it can be done. So, here's the poor man's way of doing it, and it can be done. So if we create that reality, if you create the possibility for people, oh, look, we were this, and now we're this. Even if people are looking at us and going, yeah, but you were performing for years. Yes, but I was performing for years. Now at least you have the possibility of it. Now you know how it might happen. So that means it's possible for you, because I'm no better than you are. I'm no worse than you are. It depends on, we have good days and bad days.
We absolutely do have good days and bad days. But, that is one of the things I love about this partnership now I've really been able to see over the last year, was it went from, quite honestly, I could look at you and I could dismiss some of the things that you personally said because of what you just said a minute ago. In my head, I'm like, yeah, but you're performing. You're living part of your dream, at least. You're out there doing something that I couldn't do, wouldn't necessarily want to do, blah, blah, blah. You've been doing it for 25 years. It wasn't until we started doing this show together that the reality came out of you're trying to chase a whole different dream. That's your job, just like I have a job. And I think together, because if anybody got a wild hair and still said, well, Mordant, you've written a book and been published, and you're performing, and you're living around the country all year round, they can't say that about me, and we're equals. We have shown beyond a shadow of a doubt that we both live the same life. We're chasing the dreams. When you boil it down, we're all trying to chase what we're doing.
Right. And I think that we've learned from each other. I think you've learned some things from performance. You've learned some things about with my concepts on success freaking and all that. I've learned things about radio and how to do a radio show, and I've learned a lot of that stuff. So if you want to do something or learn something, find somebody great at that thing and get mentored. And of course, now I'm going back to the book and the Success Freaks and all that. If you really find something that you want to do, then find somebody who's been really successful, not just somebody who says they've been successful. Financial advisors who are trying to sell you this financial plan, which may be great. I'm not shooting it down, but say, okay, yeah, well, how are your finances? Ask them that question. What do you do? How much do you make a year off of this? And if it's not great, they're not a great financial person. They're a great salesperson. So you want to find somebody who's actually very, very good at what whatever it is. I mean, if you want to become great at an art, at playing the guitar, riding a unicycle, writing a book, raising your children, which is an art from what I see around me. If you want to become great at a system, making money on real estate or the stock market, growing and or marketing a business, getting out of debt, or once again, raising your children, which does take a system. Find people who have done this successfully and get mentored, or at least learn from them, or shoot, even just sit in the corner and watch and learn something. That's why I like going to the gym, because as I'm learning new exercises and I'm like, I don't think I'm doing it right. Oh, wait, that person's doing it. Oh, that's what it looks like. Or somebody else is doing something different and weird. Then I'll try it. I'm like, wow, that really hit something that I wasn't hitting before. I'll do that. So sometimes it's okay just to watch.
You know, I got to say the flip side to that coin is you are your own expert. Get out there and do it. You know, good example, this show has affected my marriage and my household in a good way this year. And one of the major things was my wife and I were talking, and over the years, she loves her pictures. And back when she had a really nice camera that did film, well, she technically still has it. We just don't really deal with film very much. She used to take we have some pictures that she took that are framed in her room that are really nice. And over the years with the kids, she goes to, you name it, she's been there to take pictures. You know, Walmart Photo Center, all the way up to Olin Mills, to she's actually talked to a few of the private photographers to take the pictures of the family and whatnot. And we always have a budget. But she's gotten to where she surpasses people, and she goes in and she knows what she wants. She already has the props in mind. She already has some of the poses in mind. Our kids have learned that they love taking pictures, and they go in with some of their own ideas. And basically we take over the studio. The only thing we don't do is hit the button on the camera. And we said, okay, this is what we're going to do first. Bam, bam, bam. Here are the props that we made and we brought with us or we bought. We don't really need your stuff. Ours is better. And she's actually gotten to the point where she went with my sister. So my sister wanted to get some pictures of her nieces and nephews. And she went with her to a little dink Walmart Photo Center, right? And the girl just could not get the stuff to work right on the computer after they took the pictures. And while she went to answer the phone, my wife sat down at the Walmart computer and went, doop, 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 doop. There you go. Here's your options. Here's what you want to pick. You know, here's your different formatting you could have. Did the job better than the employee did, right? And so coming back to what I said, the flip side of the coin is be your own expert. I got to talking to her the other night. Mordant, you know how we love to have our fire pit outside and sit around. That's when we really get to talking about the things in life.
Yuppie.
And she was talking about trying this new photographer. I'm like, we're already talking about saving up and getting a new camera for the new baby, a nice one, a decent camera. And I've been saying for all this year, why don't we try something at home, even with our goofy camera, our little point and click, you know, $30 camera, whatever, $100 camera, whatever it is. You know, why don't we try something? Why don't we just see what we can do? And she was, no. But this last conversation, when I could point out the pictures that she took and that other people around her have been saying that she could take better pictures, or she takes better pictures than most people, I was able to bring that to her. I said, why are you getting so frustrated with these other people? You know you're better. Why don't we get you the equipment to do it yourself? Then there's no budget, right? I mean, it's a once-a-year budget of like $200 for family pictures. And then when there's a baby, there's like a $15, $20 budget for monthly birthday pictures. How about we just invest the money, get you the equipment that you need, and now you can do it all year round. And she got that. And that's something we learned from what do you love? The questions, you know, what do you love? Your goal writing, your backwards tombstone thing. And it's really just about being your own expert. Yeah, watch other people, but also know that you don't need anybody else. We as human beings can learn.
Don't let that stop you, in other words. I mean, I think that you'll move faster, and I think that there's something to be said for being mentored, especially once you move beyond your ability. Then you definitely want something like that. But don't let it stop you. Absolutely not. Do you have a tripod?
Yeah.
Oh, so you already got that. I bought 2 light stands for $50 I got off Craigslist.
I told my wife about that because she was talking about her doctor friend who's huge into pictures too, has a bunch of those. She has actual backgrounds, and I told her you had the green screen and blue screen stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we can do it slowly. It doesn't all have to be at once, but we can get our stuff, you know. It's easy to do. But the thing is, without being around people like you and people like her and having the show to really push myself, it could have been never Honestly, we could have been spending money at somebody else's studio the rest of our lives and being frustrated because they're not professionals. They're just hired off the street.
Yep, that's right. And you could spend that $200, your yearly budget, and buy those things that you're going to need. You've already got the toys. You've already done this enough times. You could actually go online or buy a book to figure out how to do that kind of stuff. If she really wanted to do it, if she really wanted to learn the ins and outs and maybe some tricks that she doesn't know, she could get a job or do a part-time stint as a photographer's assistant at one of these gigs. Then you could see the tricks for making the kids smile or whatever it is, the photography stuff that you don't know. So that would be taking it another step further, or taking a class in college or find a photographer friend. But yeah, that's absolutely the way to do it. Now, if there's something that needs doing but you don't know how to do it, or you don't want to do it, delegate it. I'm stepping a little bit away from the story that Charles was talking about. Now, this is talking about things like your taxes, writing copy for your for your website, which is something that is like, oh, I can write really well, but I don't like doing this. Organizing your company, organizing your life, organizing your home, organizing your new photo studio at your house. You could actually, if you have a friend of yours that actually does the photography thing, say, look, let me pay you $30. Come in and help set up a studio for us. We have all the equipment. Just show me how I should angle the lights, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then, watch and learn. So whatever it is, you want to delegate. So don't let these things stop you. Don't let, I need to go hire this big highfalutin mentor. Yeah, maybe you can, but there's different levels of people, all walks of life. Your buddy down, and then Charles is a big fan of saying value for value.
Yep.
You can do a trade with somebody who has something. Don't expect to get something for free like that. Don't be rude about it, but go up and go, hey, look, if you need me to take your clothes to the cleaners, or you need me to, can I buy you lunch and talk to you about certain things? That's a great one. If I have somebody that I need to talk to and just learn something more about, or they have information I don't have, listen, let me take you to lunch. And they're like, oh no, I'll pay for it. No, you won't. I will pay for it. Let me, first of all, I like you. Second of all, you have information for me. Let me take you to lunch, and I'm going to record this. So. And that is something, do you have something?
Well, you're talking about delegation. And
Yeah.
I did want to advise that I agree. It's just because you can do it doesn't mean you have to. I do believe fully anybody can learn anything. That's how I've made my way into podcasting. That's how I've gotten to where I've gotten. Is I learned how to code my own websites. I learned how to do the RSS feed by hand. I learned how to do all this stuff. And I'm doing it. And then Angie comes along, Rock Girl comes along. I'm like, hey, I know social media, but really, if you'll just post what I tell you to, that'd be awesome. And that grew into, she runs that and knows what she's doing. No Overton came along. It's like, what can I do to help? I'm like, oh, if you could tweak a little thing here and do that there, and still not releasing it until finally went, here, take it. And now I'm like, wow, I feel so much better that I can focus on creating awesome content, creating the stuff we talk about in the show, coming up with the next idea. Because I'm not, as you said earlier, we're not bogged down by the everyday ins and outs. Just because I can run the websites doesn't mean I should. And getting somebody who loves it, and Nolan does a way better job than I ever did because he loves it. He loves what he's doing. And I got to take a shiny moment. We've got a special guest in the chat room, Splinter 701L, I think it is, but 701. He is in freaking Australia right now, tuning in. He's been in and out before on some of my other stuff, and I want to say welcome tonight. It's awesome to have somebody from the other side of the freaking world listening.
Welcome, Splinter.
So, YouTube is a great place to learn about everything. Let's throw that out there for a second from Rock Girl here in the chat room. I taught my kids that you can learn freaking anything from YouTube. Man, it's awesome.
It's like the second largest way of finding things out in the world.
Second largest search engine.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the words. I'm like, yes, the internet is my friend. One of the things that I am delegating and I'm about to delegate is I hate going through my receipts. I hate it. I hate it so much that I have like 2.5 years worth of receipts that I haven't gone through. So I've got this huge box of them, and I'm looking at it. I'm going, I should at least go through and kind of organize it a little bit so I can hand it off to somebody. That's like cleaning your room before the maid comes over. Really? Well, I can't hire a maid. My house is a mess. Really? So instead of, no, I'm going to hire somebody to do this. I'm going to hand it over to her. If I'm lucky, I'll take 10 minutes and go, this is kind of my system. This is kind of what I'm doing. But I'm getting it out of my hands so it gets done. And I'll put a time cap on it so she's not spending 20 hours working on my receipts at $15, $20 an hour. I don't need to spend that much money. But she'll at least get a healthy chunk of it. So that's me delegating. That's a minutia thing that I really don't have time for. That will take me a good few hours to do, that I won't be working on all this other stuff that I really need to be doing.
Right. I mean, you wanted to be really hands-on and learn your website until you basically went, I don't have time for this. I'm like, I know. That's why I'm doing it for you. And I got the same way. In fact, I think I surprised you not that long ago. We were talking about something else we wanted to do with the show that we knew I didn't have time for now. I'm like, yeah, that'd be great when we get an editor. And you're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to edit and produce the shows for the rest of our lives. I plan on hiring somebody to the team to do it as soon as we find somebody who can do it on our level. And then, of course, they love it, so they do it better than we ever could. I'm always looking for that. I'm looking, because here's what I want to do, what we're doing right now. Talking to people, sharing our lives, opening up our minds, going and speaking in Vegas, those kind of things, So yeah, we're always looking to delegate. We're always looking for help. And we actually, that's one of the things in the book, who is your team? We actually not only have a team that works with us, you got to open up your world. I was talking to a new show host today about the possibility of bringing them onto No Agenda Stream. And he happened to go talk to his wife about something while he's gone. He came back like, hey, what did she say? He's like, oh yeah, I guess she does have info. I'm like, no, dude, here, she has as much input as you do. That's how we run No Agenda Stream, is your spouse, who is the person looking out after your best interest, they need to have a great say in what's going on. So it was a cool moment because he wasn't used to that kind of thing. But I run everything by my wife. Mordant runs everything by my wife. You extend your team out to people you trust, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's something that I'm watching others and learning, beginning to learn firsthand is happy wife, happy life. Whoever your significant other is, you make sure they're happy and you're going to be happy. If they're not happy, your life is no bueno, no matter what you want to do. Especially if you want to grow, you need to have that firm foundation, family first. So that's definitely it. Now, while you are seeking areas in your life for delegation and or mentors, look to your annual love letters, as it talks about in the book. Your life missions, your annual backwards goals, your future generator, your mainly form, to see where you need assistance. Now, I threw out a bunch of words right then, and those of you who have been listening to our Success Freaks episodes know what those things are: the annual love letters, the life missions, blah 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 blah. You know what they are. So if you don't, I recommend the book. I recommend it very highly. Double Your Income, Doing What You Love, by Susan Lacher and Raymond Aaron. So check that out and look for those things where you need assistance. Where you're going to need help out. So where you might need to delegate. So these things are going to shine, since these are helping you move forward with your goals. These are going to shine a light on where your weak links are, so that you're going to be able to work on them. And that's such a great thing. Oh no, this is it's showing a weakness in me. That's awesome. That means you get to work on it, or at least shore it up. You don't want to spend your whole life working on your weaknesses. Then you're going to have some strong weaknesses as opposed to some really great strengths. So sometimes it's for some people it's your accountability. It's being able to do this month after month after month. What systems of accountability do you have put in place? Who's on your team? Charles and I have the Success Freaks team right now, and literally underneath us, this thing is being built up, so that we're looking down and we're looking around going, we've got to start moving forward on our end, because they're making this thing. The doors are going to be open soon. We have to make sure we have plenty of stock inside. The doors are going to be open soon. We better make sure we have a great show going. Whatever it is that we're offering, they're building up. They're working on a building, to quote Mylon Lefevre in Broken Heart. So look that up, Sharon Watson. Find out who's on your team. Put your team together, and they will help you grow everything, and it will free your hands up, and then you're really going to see the kind of character you have. You're going to see, am I really for this thing that I say that I want to do? Do I really want to become a writer and create these books because now I'm free to write? Or was that just something I was pining for because I was working and I really just didn't want to work? Same thing with the whole motivational speaking thing. Same thing with Success Freaks. Is this just something that is this the grass is always greener on the other side? Or am I really up to the task for this? Is this really what I want to do? And by God, yes, it is.
And you know, it's cool that you're always rechecking that, because you made a statement recently about something happened. I won't throw you under the bus. I'm just saying, making my point is you recheck, as you should, from time to time. I do it every 6 months or less, making sure I'm on the path that I want to be on. And you made the statement, wow, whatever, this event that just happened really makes me keep wanting to do what I do. And a lot of people could take that wrong. I could take that wrong. I can be like, what's wrong with you? Of course we want to do what we want to do. What do you, blah, blah. But no, the reality is we all need road signs. We all need to see where we're going and to check it out, right? We all need to know that I'm not just blindly carrying on this one direction where really my path veered off to the right a while back and I missed a turn. There was something I was going to bring up off of that. Oh, the flip side. You're talking about, I've done a lot of flip side stuff tonight. I don't know why, but you're talking about building your team and putting it together. This is the positive flip side to the crabs in the bucket story. This is about looking around. You don't really build a team. I'll be honest with you. We didn't build the team that we have. We attracted the people when we changed the life that we were walking along, and we attracted the right people who started really buying into what we were buying into. You know, and that's why it's the flip side to the crabs in the bucket. Are you surrounded by people who are pulling you down? Or when you mention that idea of, man, I would really like to go and speak at this conference in Vegas for the first time to anybody, they go, that'd be great. What can we do to help you get there?
Right. Then it's almost like the crabs outside the buckets are pulling you out.
There you go. Save me. Save me.
Talking with others makes your goals real. And share them with others. That's one of the things that it talks about at the end of this book. Talking with others makes your goals real. I was just speaking with somebody who was working on a project, and she's like, "Oh, I got to keep it secret because I don't want to throw it out there till I'm ready." But this, speaking with others about it, unless you got secrets and things and you don't want to get that out, I understand that. But speaking about it with people you trust makes them real. Share them with others. Set up a buddy system with commitment buddies. And you can make a friendly competition or within a reward. Allison Williams, one of our old friends who's done a couple of TOSOLs in the back, she and I set up something where we were both writing. We had to write, I think it was like 500 words or 1,000 words for the week or something. Or maybe it was an hour every day. Maybe or something that we had to do. And it was really easy. It was 20 minutes a day because we used to just get writing. You can write more if you want, but just do 20 minutes a day. That's it. Just, if you even work just 20 minutes a day, you're going to be, and we called it the 20-minute miracle because then you've done an hour a week and it's just Monday through Friday. That was it because we both worked on the weekends. But the thing that we set up is that we would check in with each other. If you pass midnight, that's fine as long as you don't go to bed. You can work till 3, 4 in the morning. That's fine. So that still counts. But if you hadn't done that by the end of the week, the person who hadn't done it owed the other person $100. $100. So when it got down to crunch time and you're tired, is you're not taking 20 minutes, even sitting in front of your computer going, I don't know what's right, 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 for 20 minutes counts. Is that worth $100? And of course, we went week after week after week after week doing this. We got a lot of stuff done. And after every week of being successful, we would buy each other a small gift. Oh, look, we did this. So we'd buy each other a small gift. So that was kind of the reward thing. Now, sometimes this works and sometimes this doesn't. My buddy EJ and I, we both, we want to go to the gym. And every time I come back in town, he's like, as soon as I get off work, I'm going to come to the house and you're going to say, let's go to the gym, and we're going to go. If you don't, then we won't. There have been quite a few nights, boys and girls, where I've just been sitting there, and as soon as he shows up, I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym. And so we wind up not going. The way to fix that would be for him to show up at the gym and say, I'm here. I'm waiting on you. Get here. Then it's like, oh, I'm letting my buddy down. So you got to set yourself up to succeed and then recognize your weaknesses and fix it along the way.
That applies to every little habit. That's how you change a habit. That's how you form a habit. everybody loves, or at least I've been exposed to this phrase a lot, is changing your life starts with the first step. And then what? And then what? And then what? Shut up. That's what I have to say. But that's to say, so that's such a broad idea. Changing your life. Oh, you want to be a millionaire? It starts with the first step. All right, I'm going to pimp hand of God you, man. It's just so irritating, such glib stuff. But here's the deal. It is that 20-minute miracle. It is when my kids start back to school, what I do, sometimes it's not just 20 minutes. Sometimes it's, okay, instead of getting my coffee and waking up playing Facebook or surfing the net or whatever it is I'm doing, I'm going to go ahead and start them on school because they've been up for a while and they're ready. And that little thing changes how the day goes instead of putting things off. It's the losing weight. It started with just taking 5 minutes to log things in. And then the next day, making sure I have 5 minutes to log things in. And the next day, and so on. And because I forgot, I haven't stopped ever doing what I'm doing. But because I forgot to actually physically log in one day, I reset my account. So now I can only tell you I've logged in for 60 days straight. But it's been longer than that. I have no idea how much longer now. But it's what you're talking about, Mordant. You want something. I don't care what it is. I'm going to end here in a minute. I'm going to toss it back to you. And then if you want, I'll end with a quick goal story. But it doesn't matter what it is. You find out what it can be, the big picture. It can be in the chat room. Rathburn has shared this $25,000 wins. Okay, that's a huge amount of money. But she knows she wants it. You write your goals, you find your steps, and you find the little things you can do right now to start getting there. And you just keep going, and you keep going. It'll come. It's the snowball effect from Dave Ramsey. It'll build a whole lot faster than you think it will.
Mari has put something in that we may actually look at into the chat room. You guys should make a Success Freaks Facebook group for us to share our goals with each other and be accountable to each other. We're actually looking at where Success Freaks is going to go is going to turn into the home groups. So that you can all get together and also have social interaction, not just on Facebook, but in real life.
Yeah, and we're going to change. We're actually building a website and everything to go with that.
Yeah, but that is not a bad jumping off point. We already have Success Freaks Facebook, but it's private right now. It's not ready to launch or anything. So we're working on everything on the back end. So that is definitely going to happen. So, but thank you, Mari. That is a great idea, and maybe we'll shoot that out there early just to play with it. There will always be cynics, and you have to surround yourself with a great support team. As you're trying to keep yourself accountable, as you're trying to stick with these weird, outrageous goals, or no, I've got to do this because this is what I have to do. I have to keep moving. There's always going to be people that go, you don't need to do that. Relax. You're spending too much time on this whole goal thing. Now, there's a balance to everything, boys and girls, and Charles is going to be quick to jump in this. And I agree with him. You have to keep your life balanced. Life is not about the goal. The goal gets you there, which is I'm going to jump ahead to a quote that I was going to end with, but I love this quote. This is by Anthony Robbins. Goals are a means to an end, not the ultimate purpose of our lives. They are simply a tool to concentrate our focus and move us in a direction. The only reason we really pursue goals is to cause ourselves to expand and grow. Achieving goals by themselves will never make us happy in the long term. It's who you become as you overcome the obstacles necessary to achieve your goals that can give you the deepest and most long-lasting sense of fulfillment. So again, goals are a means to an end, not the ultimate purpose of our lives. So even though you're going to have the cynics going, relax, you shouldn't be working so hard, and you want to stay the path, you want to surround yourself with people who are positive and people who are supportive in keeping you on your track for your goals. Don't be so goal heavy that you are losing your family, losing your life, losing the joy that this life is supposed to be. Don't lose that. Take a breather. Smell those roses. Did you have a goal story that you wanted to do?
I've got a very quick one. I shared it with our group. And all I got to say with the goals is give it a shot. Test it. Be cynical. Say, you know what, those guys, it works for them because they're big shot radio podcast award nominees, yada, yada, yada. You say whatever you want, but try it. Give it a shot. Write it appropriately. We can help you with that. Hit us on The Other Side of Live on Facebook, facebook.com/The Other Side of Live. right? That's what we changed it to, right?
Yes.
Or theothersideoflive.com/Facebook. Try, you know.
Something like that.
Right.
Somebody will put it into the Java will put it into the chat room.
There you go. So here, very quickly, I decided I pass my time during the day as I'm working and I get bored. I do pass my time playing a Facebook game called Marvel's Avengers Ultimate Alliance. It's just a time killer, but it's fun. I enjoy it. It hits all my needs for leveling up and chasing that immediate satisfaction while I'm having to do my job. You know, it engages my brain. There are challenges there. There are things I'm not obsessive compulsive, but I'm a completist. I have to get that prize. It doesn't matter what it is. I really have to achieve that character or get this weapon. So this time around, I decided for our group to put it out there and test it out. So I'm going to write some goals. And this is what I'm writing today. And I wrote, by this date, I'll have achieved this. I wrote it appropriately. I don't have it in front of me. I'd read it. But I will get to where I need to be. And I wrote it appropriately, like I'll have no less than X number by this date of what I need, yada, 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 yada. And what happened was, by the date that came around, and I didn't do anything other than do my normal thing. I didn't play extra. Maybe I did look for ways to complete my goals that I wouldn't have looked for before. I don't know. But I did not like put money in. I did not do extra stuff. I just carried on like I felt like I normally would. The date came, and I only had the majority of my goal, which had you asked me when I started, if I could even reach that many points, I would have said, there's no way. There's no way I can do that. It won't happen. But just because I put down a goal and said, you know what, let's see what happens. I did not even visualize this will be this way. I just said, let's see what happens. By the time each date came up, I did not complete my goals. However, I was in the mindset by that point that I can do it. And the game section got extended, which it always gets extended. So even though the dates didn't matter, I achieved every last thing I wanted that I wrote down, and I did it with 4 days left to go. I'm just saying, give it a shot. Nothing too little, nothing too big. You want to be cynical? Be cynical, but give it a try. You'll be surprised what happens.
Yeah, make it into a game. Charles did it at something that there was nothing too much on the line with, and he was able to build his belief in this, which because of that belief, he's going to try it with more things and bigger things. At the very end of the book, the last thing I'm going to say, they talk about celebrate your successes. Take your victory dance. Spike the ball. And then say, notice your progress. Celebrate your achievements. Collect those wonderful souls around you who also share your excitement for your successes. It's a wonderful way to feel better about yourself and your progress. When you do, your self-esteem will skyrocket, and your self-esteem is the only weapon you have to succeed in this turbulent world. So you've got to take your successes with the goals. Hey, look, I achieved this, even a little baby step. Feel good about yourself. I have some friends of mine who are just like, oh, no, it's no big deal that I'm doing that. Come on, take your win. Oh, my goodness, you're dealing with this and this and this and this, and you have this small victory. Take the small victory. Savor it. If that's the only one you have, so you can feel good about yourself, and then fall in love with that feeling so that you're going to start growing it in other areas of your life. Because if you're only wrapping yourself around the failures, if you're only putting on the mantle of failure, going, I got to wear this cloak of failure and feel bad about myself because I suck, and you're not taking that small victory and holding on to it like it's my precious, you're not going to grow it in other places of your life. You're not going to go on to make 3 movies and then a new movie coming out soon where we get to see more of my precious. So take those small victories, and if your world is crumbling down around you everywhere else, savor them. Like it's that last bite of juicy steak or fresh vegetable if you're a vegetarian. Whatever it is, that bowl of ice cream, and it's the last bite, and there's no more around, but I found this nugget. It's lovely. So celebrate your successes. It's very important.
And build on them. When everything else is falling down, know that you're not a failure because you have these successes, and build on them. Because the most dangerous thing success can be is the last thing you ever achieve.
Yeah, brother. So I think that brings us to the end of this podcast. Unless you have more that you want to say.
I want to say vote for us starting November 1st in the general category, podcastawards.com. We're going to win this year. We're going to accept the prize from Leo Laporte himself. And
in Vegas, baby.
In Vegas, man. We're going to do this thing.
Yeah, you can vote once a day, vote once, vote often, or vote once a day, vote often, vote us. In the general category. It's podcastawards.com. Easy peasy. Oh, and they will send you a verifying email. You have to go to your email, find it, and click on it saying, yes, I am that person. I did vote. So I think it's actually a two-step process. So
yeah, it's very quick and easy. It's fine. And throw some love to our friends, Seventh Row Center in the movie category, No Agenda in news, and hardcore history in history, or in education, rather. So
yeah, and even those people that we're locking horns with, Secretly Timid, congratulations.
Yeah, love them. Don't vote for them, but I love them.
Dvorak and what was the other name?
Horowitz.
Congratulations, gentlemen, if you're listening or if you care. Congratulations to you. And, of course, last year's winner.
And greetings from nowhere.
Greetings from nowhere. Good for you guys.
Who should graciously give somebody else a shot.
No. I don't want them to lose. I want to win. Let them, if they can hold on to that, good for them. Then they got something going on. Maybe we should listen to them.
You want to help us on the road to Vegas. You want to help us get there. Now, don't just vote. Keep in mind, with Christmas coming, you're going to do a lot of shopping. We have Amazon links all over the place. The main one is theothersideoflive.com/Amazon. You shop through us. We get a percentage, and it does not cost you anything. And I'm going to tell you, man, it's going to pave the road to Vegas where we'll all be successful. And I will even, if it matters to you, if it does, I'm all for giving you something that matters. We will make special T-shirts to wear at Vegas with your names on them. If you go, hey, I shopped through Amazon, I helped you guys out, we'll make a shirt that has your name on it, and we'll wear it while we're there and take Instagram pictures and stuff.
I'll wear it when I'm going to bed. That's going to be great. So if you are listening to the podcast, we are live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find us at theothersideoflive.com/NAS. Of course, the NAS stands for No Agenda Stream. If you are listening to us live, you want to catch some back issues, theothersideoflive.com. And, of course, we are available on iTunes.
Are we still?
Yeah, brother.
I haven't checked it forever.
Yeah, we are. You can actually also find us on YouTube.
That's right. For those who just really dig YouTube and videos, and that's how you kill your time, Noverton has set us up a beautiful YouTube channel. What is that, sir?
I think it's youtube.com/theothersideoflive, or is theothersideoflive.com/YouTube.
You know what? It's safer to go to theothersideoflive.com/YouTube, but you can search Other Side of Live. I believe it is youtube.com/othersideoflive, but go to theothersideoflive.com or you know what? Hit us up on Facebook, because we're still building. We're building so
Facebook.
fast. Yeah, we're building so fast.
Facebook.com/theothersideoflive. What was that, my precious?
Yeah, I'm not your. I'm a tree thing, whatever. Anyway, I was just saying we're building so fast we can't always keep all the links in place. But if you hit us up, the home, facebook.com/theothersideoflive, like you're saying, you can always message us there, post on the page, find out what's going on, ask your questions, buy us a cake. I don't know. You can do anything you want there.
Okay, I think we're done now.
I haven't got my cake yet.
I know. I'm hungry now. I'm going to go eat. So thank you for listening to us tonight on The Other Side of Live in our Success Freaks episode. This has been our Mordant.
And I am the On the Flip Side Bear.
Ciao, Dream Catchers. That's awesome. Boom, baby.